the mayor. That tells me they believe they have a very, very strong case, a forensic case, meaning from emails, from text messages, from surveilled conversations. They don't even need to bring in the co-conspirators, but they have them if they want them.
And Judge, we were talking about this earlier this morning. When we look through this indictment, some of the things that stood out to both you and me were the records that show that he was not only aware of this, but indicate that he knew that what he was doing was wrong and in fact illegal. Can you talk about why that's so important?
Yes. Okay. So let's take the Turkish consulate. On its face, there's nothing wrong with the mayor of New York City helping a foreign government to build a consulate in New York. It's construction jobs. It's a commercial activity. It's international business. All good for everybody. But the allegation is that he asked the fire department to look the other way and not to conduct standard FDNY inspections in order to give a certificate of occupancy, and he did that in return for contributions from the Turkish government, which he had to have known was unlawful. Now, the government's going to have to prove that. Right. They're going to have to prove that he exercised the levers of power. That's the phrase in the leading Supreme Court case. He exercised the official levers of power as a direct quid pro quo, as a direct agreement in return for which he was receiving cash. Not in his pocket. This is not a Senator Menendez case. In the coffers of his campaign.
Well, and that's the part that I think is the most egregious when you look at the matching, right? So bringing in this foreign money through these straw donors who were, not legitimate donors, and then New York matching that. You're basically stealing money from the taxpayer, at least if the indictment is correct.
He was not charged with theft specifically. However, the allegation in the indictment was just as you said, knowing this money was unlawfully contributed, but applying for the matching funds anyway is taking money from the taxpayers to which you weren't entitled. That's called theft.
All right, Judge, stick around. We're going to talk to you in a little bit.
Sure.
Meantime, we are monitoring this. The United